All right, I think we can go ahead and get rolling.
Awesome.
Whitney's going to cover email marketing now. I think we have Herman helping out with questions as well during this session if you have some to put into chat. We can get started. Oops.
All right, we're gonna dive right in. I'm really excited about this presentation. So let's get to it. So my name is Whitney Taylor. I am a senior account manager here at RunSignup. I wanted to add a little personal touch just so that we've all been on Zoom, I feel like, for a couple of days. So we want to just relate with each other. I live in Colorado. I am heavy into trail running and mountain biking, and I am also a big advocate for endurance athletes lifting heavy weights. So if that's a topic that you want to talk about, definitely chat about this after we talk about email marketing. Now we have a very short period of time today to cover a lot of information. These are mini sessions, so I'm going to really touch on broad topics and not really dig into too much detail. It's more of showing you how to utilize the tool and how to make it most efficient for your race. So we are going to dive straight into why you should utilize RunSignup's email marketing. The first reason, it's simple, it's extremely effective, and the best reason, it's free. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the number one thing that everybody needs to know when it comes to email marketing. And I would say the number one thing that everybody just breezes over, which is a part of the manage email settings. So you'll go into email marketing, you'll go into manage email settings. And then from there, you're going to see white labeling. So what this means is that when you set up your race on RunSignup, when emails go out of the system from your race, their default is going to be no reply at runsignup.com. And for those of you that are interested in marketing or just want your emails to be read, no reply at runsignup.com is probably not going to get your emails read. You want to change your email to either the simple white labeling or the advanced white labeling. The simple white labeling is going to utilize your email address that you put in there and it's going to be the reply email. So if somebody were to reply to that email, they would be emailing you directly. The advanced white labeling is the ultimate and the one that I recommend for everyone. If you own your own website, if you have your own domain, you can use that email address with that domain and it's going to link to that email. So that will automatically turn on the simple white labeling and it is definitely your number one choice. What that looks like in the back end is this set from name, which is the number one most important piece of your email. When you look at your email inbox, what's the first thing that you look at? You look out to see who it's from and what that email is. And so you want to know who's sending you emails, or you're going to completely ignore it or mark it as spam. So definitely make sure that you have a very easy to read associated with your organization or your race set from name, and then entering in your email address for the reply to email address. And best case scenario, you set up advanced white labeling where you have your own domain and you're linking your email completely. Now moving on to sending emails. How do we send an email through RunSignup and what does that look like? The first step of that is getting into the to column. So who are we sending this email to? And RunSignup makes it super easy within the race. You'll see that you can send to your current participants as a whole for the race, or you can break it down into specific event types. You can also send to previous participants if you've been on our platform for a while, or let's say that you've imported a lot of data from your previous platform, you can contact these previous participants by just clicking a button. We also have the ability to send to custom lists, and we're going to get to that section in a little bit, but you can send to specific lists that you've uploaded. The second part of creating this email is the email details. So you want to name the email, and that's internal. Nobody's going to see what the name of your email is. That's for your labeling. We then go to the email subject. This is the second most important piece of your email, aside from the from. When you see the email subject, is it engaging? Is somebody going to want to read it? You also see that people are looking, we have 77% of people open their emails through their mobile phone. So when they see that from and they see the subject, if it's not intriguing to them or if it's not popping out, they're not going to read it. Moving on from that, we have the ability to schedule your emails later, or you could send it now. So this is a great way if you do want to create an email campaign in the system and you want to build it all up front, you could go ahead and build that in the system, set your timeframes when it's going to go out, and then just let it happen. You can also upload attachments. The only thing I say with that is be careful of how big your attachment is and what you have in your attachment, because that will lower your deliverability rates. So now that you have the basic setup, we're going to get into our templates. So like I said previously, most people are looking at their emails on their phone now. So our email templates are fully mobile responsive. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to, because more than likely you're building your email out on your desktop. So you're not thinking about the actual mobile responsive component of it. That's what you should be focused on. And our templates do that for you. We also have legacy templates. These legacy templates are from previous. It's not, I don't recommend using them unless you've just been on our platform for a long time and it's something that you're comfortable using. And then if you have your own HTML or you want to pull from a different, let's say you've built out or your designers built out a template in MailChimp, you could take that HTML, plop it into our platform, do a little customization and get it to fit in there pretty well. So this is what a standard email template looks like in our system. I love this company. They're a great organization on our platform and they have incredible graphic design. And so this is just pulling a header and it's pulling the color scheme from their race to create the email template. And you'll see we're using replacement tags here for first name, last name, etc. So the next thing that I want to talk about are the messaging tips and replacement tags. Like I said before, your from is extremely important, and I'm going to drive that home because it is so important. The subject line is also very important. Those are the two key factors that are going to determine whether or not that email is going to be read. So with the subject line, a tip that I learned a while ago that I've actually used and have found great success with is keeping your subject line either very short or very long. So using all of the characters that you can use in that subject line. And the reason for this is so that you can stand out amongst all of the emails that people are getting in a day. If you keep your subject line around an average length that everyone else is using, then you're just going to mesh in with everyone else and people aren't going to see or read your emails. The other thing that I want to mention is keeping your content short and precise. We tend to block our emails into big paragraphs and people don't want to read big paragraphs. They want to read short little sentences and they can follow the story along. And you can also do call to actions that way by bolding or highlighting specific things that you really want people to know about. Next is our replacement tags. We encourage you to use these replacement tags as much as you can. They are a fantastic way to make sure that you're pulling in accurate data, that you're pulling in accurate links, and that you are personalizing the email. So these replacement tags, all you would do is you would just plop the replacement tag where you want to, let's say, put race information link or a packet pickup date. And the system is actually going to pull that data from your race and populate that into the email. So it's a great way to make sure that you are not making mistakes with putting in inaccurate information. And the last piece is just making sure that you're careful with images. Larger images or images in general will lower those deliverability rates again. So now that we've built in the meat of the email, this is how, and this is what it looks like when you go ahead to send your email. You can save it as a draft, send it later. You can send a test email, or you can just go ahead and send that email right away. Send the test email. Please just send the test email. It's very easy to do, and it's a great way to make sure that your email flows well, that the aesthetics are the way that you want them to, and that everything looks good. The only thing that I'm going to say with that is that the replacement tags do not work. The replacement tags do not work. So don't click on the email, don't click on the link in the test email and say that everything's broken. It just doesn't work in the test email. So it's more for an aesthetic view than it is for an actual function. So now that we're ready to send our email, we're going to get a little overview of what that email, what the details of that email looks like. And then we can go ahead and confirm the email and it will send. So we've covered sending emails. Now let's get into the custom lists. And this is pretty straightforward. You can target your custom audiences by uploading specific custom emails. We have seen this since COVID has taken over our world. We have seen that people have dropped their third-party email vendors and they have moved over to RunSignup. MailChimp, Constant Contact, they've pulled all of their lists off of that and they've uploaded their lists into RunSignup. RunSignup is a free source for you to send emails. No, we do not have all of the functionality that MailChimp and Constant Contact have, but we have a lot of it. And so putting those lists in here, you can then market to any type of audience that you want. You can upload these lists, you can type in the list if you'd like, and you can also pull from previous participants. So this is what it looks like when you go to upload a custom list. You will give the list a name, you will upload, mandatory is email, but you can also upload first name and last name. This is the page where you can manage those lists. So you'll see that you can download the list, you can view it, you can delete it, whatever you'd like. Next, we're going to get into our automated emails. This is how you can 100% maximize your outreach, and it is very little time on your part. We have 3 types of automated emails. We have an incomplete registration, we have registration follow-up, and we have price increases. So with the incomplete registrations, the one thing with that is it's going to go out to anybody that has gone through the registration path that did not complete it. You have the ability to set specific days. So you could say 2 days after registration, I want to send this email. 3 days after attempted registration, I want to send this email. And it's just a little nudge to let them know that they should register for your race. The second one, which I also feel is very underrated on our platform and could be used for a lot of different reasons, is a registration follow-up email. You could put in the work up front. Maybe it takes you an hour, maybe it takes you 2 hours to create this drip campaign where you're creating these emails that they're going to get every so often. Maybe it's twice a month, maybe it's once a month. And you're just going to continue to keep your participants engaged, share information about what they're doing. Maybe you have sponsors that you want to talk about or certain training programs that you're working with. Just continuing to have those touch points with your participants so that they stay involved and they are excited to do your race. This is especially important for virtual because it's just a way that you can communicate and touch your participants without having to actually physically be there. And then the last one is the price increases. The reason why you would want to use price increase is if you were using our referral program. So our referral program is when you can refer, you get rewards for referring participants. And that's essentially what you would want to let your participants that have already registered know, because this price increase is going out to current participants. So it's just letting them know that, hey, we're going to have a price increase. Tell all your friends and family to register for this race. And this is, again, an example of how you can customize your automated emails. You can edit the subject line, you can choose your specific template that you want, and you can use your replacement tags in there. It's a great way to reach more participants, and it does increase registrations. Moving on to the last little piece of this is just covering the etiquette and deliverability so that we can increase those open rates and we can increase those registrations. Some stats for you. 21% of emails globally do not make it to the inbox, and that could be due to just bad email addresses. That could be due to images causing issues. You want to make sure that your email is aligned to reach an inbox so that people can actually see you. The second one, the amount of average emails a human gets in a day is 121. I personally get a lot more than that because I am that junkie that will go to a website and I'm like, ooh, I want this document. Ooh, I want to know how to do this. So I give everyone my email. And so I get a lot of emails in a day. If I'm going to be reading your email, and this happens to me all the time as well, I'll sign up for a race, but I'll think that it's just a race, just sending me random information. So I don't read it. And then I miss the information that I actually need. So again, make sure that your subject line stands out. And then the last one is that if you personalize your emails, you have a 26% higher chance of them opening that email and reading that email. People like when you talk to them, people like that human connection. They want to feel like it's personal. So with that being said, we have statistics that you can see for every email that you do send out on our platform. That would be under the email reports and then SendGrid email statistics. It's going to show you your delivery rates, your open rates, click rates, bounce rates, etc. And we have definitions written up about what each one of those are. The ones that I want to touch on would be the open and unique opens, the clicks versus unique clicks. So I could open an email 10 times. That's going to show up 10 times in the open rate, which inflates that number. But if I open an email 10 times, it's only going to show up once in the unique opens because I am one human and I am one email address. So I've opened it once. So a quick review of this. We just want to make sure that we have relevant, properly formatted information in our emails. We want to make sure that we have a great subject line. We want to make sure that that from address is relevant to your organization or to you, because the more, even if they don't open your email, if that from address has your organization on it or the subject line has something about you, they're still going to see it. So you're still kind of getting that marketing in there because they're still seeing that name. So it reminds them even if they don't open the email. We want to make sure that you utilize replacement tags. So making sure that you personalize these messages. You have consistent volume with your emails. I want to touch on this to make sure that you are aware that that means sending it consistently, but not all the time. So don't send 5 emails in 5 days. Don't bombard your participant with emails. They're going to ignore your emails if that happens. You want to be consistent, but you also want to respect them and be kind. Let them know what's going on. Let them know you still exist, even when your races aren't going on. A monthly email is a very good thing just to have that touch point and keep your organization on the top of their mind. And then the last one is the advanced white labeling. Very important. Make sure that that's the first thing that you do when you go in and set up your email. Email settings, advanced white labeling, get that right email address in there and you're good to go. All right, we made it. We did it under 20 minutes. So I don't know, we don't have a ton of time for questions. I'm happy to answer a couple before we have our little 10-minute break and jump into a different presentation.
One thing that has come up just kind of in different ways, if you can kind of explain a little bit about how replacement tags work and what kinds of things to use replacement tags for. I think a number of people aren't super familiar with them.
Yes, of course. So the way replacement tags work is that they are your first name, last name. You could do bib number, bib certificate. They're little tags that you can pull into your emails that will actually populate that specific data when the email is sent. So I could do my first name, last name, and then hi, first name, last name, your bib number is, and then put in a bib number replacement tag. So when I receive that email, it's going to say, hi, Whitney, your bib number is 6. So that's how replacement tags work. Or you could do something like submit your results here, and you could put in result submission link. So it's going to automatically pull in that result submission link for your race when you send that email. Did I answer that question for you?
Yes. Herman, I think you've been on here a little bit better than I am. Are there any that I am missing that would be worth asking Whitney while she's here?
I'm looking through now. A bunch of questions came in. Let's see.
If someone unsubscribes from the list, can you resubscribe them if they request that?
Yes.
I think good one. Where do you find the replacement tags at?
You will find the replacement tags by going into, when you go in to send emails or any email that you're creating, they'll be at the bottom of the page. You can also find them in the tab when you're creating your email. So it will say replacement tags, and you can literally just click on it and drop it down.
And do they work in the subject?
No.
Can I ask you a question? Hello?
Herman?
Some do, some will work in the subject.
Okay.
Not all of them will, but some will.
Okay. I had to take back what I said. I said no, and I did not feel confident about it. We got to roll because we have another presentation in 5 minutes. I'm going to say bye because I have to go to a different room for presentation. So thank you guys for staying with me and hanging on. I hope you have a great rest of your day.